So the part of this diagram that I'd like to draw your attention to next is the triangle that's at the center of the diagram. So in the Enneagram language, we call this the instinctive triad or the intelligence triads. So it's the way that these types are more prone to their orientation to the world. So we see here the law of threes in action, as I was saying earlier, because the 1, 9, and the 8 all fall under this. I'm going to just color this here, this instinct triad. Sometimes it's called the gut. So these types, these three, more than other types, will be focused on their gut, although it shows up in unique ways. Perfectionists sometimes lose sight of their instincts because they're so busy trying to hold to their standards, their high standards for themselves and others. So they'll lose sight of their instincts and their anger. They don't really realize how angry they are inside or at themselves when they're not healthy. But when they're healthy and they're growing, they come in contact with these instincts and realize, oh, I need to lighten up a little bit or lessen up on some of my standards. The peacemaker also can dampen down. They again want to have harmony. They want to have peace. However, they also lose sight of their instincts and their maybe even their righteous anger. There's things that they should be exerting boundaries on, but they lose sight of that because they just kind of want to dampen everything and keep it all the same or not have that conflict in their life. The 8, quite differently, also is in the instinctive triad, but they are in touch with their anger. They are often very direct with their anger and actually need some work on being less angry, or at least less showing their anger in very confrontational ways. So that's their growth point. Then we move into the head. This is the 7, 6, and 5. These types, more than any other, they are lost in their thoughts a lot of times. So the adventurer, they've got all kinds of new ideas, all kinds of fun things to do, but they're less in touch of their fear. They know fear is out there, but they don't think they're affected by it. But sometimes, again, much like the peacemaker, they're trying to dampen down their fear by having fun and not really deal with it in their life. Whereas the 6, they know they got fear. There's all kinds of self-doubts going on. There are all kinds of fears about what if. And so they need to be in touch with their confidence levels so that they can manage their fear. The investigator often will get lost in their thoughts and remove themselves from situations so that they don't have to feel fear. So again, how it shows up is a little different. Then we move into the heart triad. This triad, more than any other, 2, 3, and 4, are really motivated by their image, their self-image, their ego, and their heart. So the 2s know they are ruled by their heart because they're helpers, they're givers for people. Where they're less in touch is with their ego, that sometimes this need to be needed feeds into their ego. The achiever, they're doing it a lot of times because of their self-image, wanting to move forward on goals, which can be such a great thing, but can often feed into their ego, and maybe they lose sight of what they really want deep down. The individualist, very much in touch with their heart. They're very emotive. These are often sometimes called the romantic type. But again, they're less knowledgeable about how that's feeding into their wanting and their need to be seen as unique and worthy. And they lose sight of the fact they're worthy without really having to show that or be something that they're not. So those are the instinctive triads, just a brief exercise, and then we're going to get into how each of these other lines are represented on the Enneagram.